Hello and welcome to another episode of the Truth About Living podcast. I'm your host, Bridgett, and I want to thank you so much for downloading this episode, for subscribing, for your reviews, for your emails. I am really, really loving it, and I'm very appreciative. And as you know, today is a free flow day. Each day is dedicated to a different topic. And the whole project, I like to reiterate this because I think it's so key to remember that the whole idea behind the truth about living is that you can create an extraordinary life, that you can go forward in love and appreciation and gratitude, that you can affect significant life change, that you can have, do, and be what you really want in this world. And so all of these topics are really about diving into these concepts, right? And how this life works, and purpose and resources for creating what you truly want. The topic for today is really something that you could spend loads of time talking about, because it comes at you, especially if you have followed any, highly successful entrepreneurs or speakers, inspirational leaders. They talk about this idea of your morning routine, setting up your success for the day, right? And how it's so important to get your foundation early on in the morning, to be ahead of your day, to get in front of your day, and to run your day rather than letting the day run you, right? So I want to share with you what I'm doing for my morning routine currently. But I also want to kind of back up a little bit, because there's something else that you may be familiar with called The Miracle Morning from Hal Elrod. So it's a book, you can look it up on Amazon, The Miracle Morning. And oddly enough, I almost titled this podcast episode, Why I Don't Do the Miracle Morning. And it's not because I love the Miracle Morning. I have practiced it. It has given me a feeling that you could very easily become enamored with or addicted to. It makes you feel kind of superhero-ish, that you are just like flying so high because you've achieved so much before 5:30 a.m. or whatever. It's a really powerful feeling. I do recommend the book. However, I'm not doing the Miracle Morning these days. And the reason, there's a couple reasons, but one of them has to do with just the nature of life circumstance, right? So we know that there's different stages in life, and there's stages in life where it's practical to get up. Okay, maybe practical is the wrong word, because anyone who's getting up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning to set up their day for success is making that happen. Okay, this is not happening by accident. They are purposefully creating this, and that should really be commended. Okay, so let's just throw the word practical out the window, but it is pretty profound. I'm in a place in my life, as many of you know, that I have a 5-year-old son, which that does not prevent me from doing a Miracle Morning, right? It makes it more challenging than before I was the mother of a small child. That is for sure. But I'm also 7 months pregnant. And so this combination of motherhood paired with my other responsibilities, my business responsibilities, have made it such that I have made a conscious choice to not do the Miracle Morning right now. I've tried it as the mother of a small child through periods of time, and the thing about being a mom, and I'm a stay-at-home mom for all intents and purposes, is that your life is not entirely your own anymore. That's a big thing that shifts when you become. I can only speak as a mother, but probably as a parent in general. Your life is not entirely your own anymore. And so try as you may to institute certain things in your life, there has to be a flow when you have a small child. And for me, if I'm rigid about I need to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do my miracle morning and have my hour of solitude and don't anybody interrupt me, if I go at it that way, very rigidly, that's not joyful to me. It actually creates more stress. So I've taken a different approach, and that's what I want to share with you today is my approach. And so the idea is that no matter where you are in your situation, if you can do the miracle morning and get up at 5 and have your list of activities and things that nourish you, right? So we're talking about doing things that set up your mindset, doing things that set up your health, right? So whether it's making a smoothie or it's getting in your exercise, things that set you up for, spiritually. So, reading something that's significant to you, or meditating or journaling, all these beautiful things that we know support our well-being and our ultimate success. If you can do that at 5 in the morning and you commit to that, then that's amazing. You are absolutely going to have an amazing day. There's no doubt in my mind. If you're in a situation where it's not quite the right timing for you, there was a short time there where I had recommitted myself. I would say maybe about a year ago. My son was 4, and I thought, I'm gonna try it again. I really love the Miracle Morning, and even though he's up during the night and this kind of thing, I'm just gonna kind of just commit and just make it work. And I created a small Facebook group of people who were recommitting to the Miracle Morning because they had done it before. They knew how powerful it was and how amazing it feels, right? And what I found is that a lot of people have life circumstance that gets them off track, right? So they'll do it for a week, do it for a few days, they'll do it for several weeks, months even, and then fall off track and need to get back on it. So what I'm sharing with you today is something you can do for to set yourself up for success for the day in your morning routine, regardless of whether or not you can really dedicate an hour to yourself and solitude to have a miracle morning. And even how Elrod in the book says, look, if you can't make an hour work, how about half an hour? How about 10 minutes? I think he even does like some kind of exercise in his book where he's like, look at these things you could do in 5 minutes or 2 minutes that just run you through being ahead of your day, right? Give you some sense of empowerment early in the morning. Morning is when, for me, I absolutely feel my best. And it's when I have the most energy, the most clarity. May have something to do with the fact that I am 7 months pregnant and I am feeling kind of enormous and I have fatigue and I have backaches and all that stuff. All those wonderful symptoms with pregnancy, but those things come on me in the late afternoon and the evening. And so it's at this point in my life, that's more challenging time. So mornings are when I can really thrive and give my full energy to my business, the podcast, my family, the things that are, that really require, right? That vitality. So here's what I do. Here's what I do in the morning and why I would say I really don't work the first hour, roughly the first hour of my work days. And that may sound, kind of crazy. You've dedicated this time to your work. For me, my work hours are really protected and they need to be efficient because I'm not going into, I used to have jobs in HR and stuff, and you'd go in for 8 hours and whatever you got done, and whatever you didn't was just there the next day, but you were putting in your time regardless. When you have your own business, when you are balancing responsibilities of family, entrepreneurship, when you have the strong desire to create some freedom and some space in your life, as I do, your work hours become really critical and protected because I know, for example, on Monday that I'm going to work 9 to 1. I need to work from 9 to 1. I can't be, just kind of getting off task and going down, different rabbit holes of Facebook or television, or deciding to take a walk. I mean, there's occasions where I do, but in general, I'm very protective. And when I'm invited places to do things, I always say, Mondays, Tuesdays I do 9 to 3. This is, I really need to protect this time. I don't make appointments during that time. I don't, make play dates with my son during that time. It's very much protected, and it needs to be efficient. Now, Wednesdays is family day, so I take off work. For the most part, I do a little bit of checking in and work in the evening. But so I need to work Monday and Tuesday so I can have that comfort level on Wednesday when I want to take that day off. So why would I dedicate an entire hour to not working when I've just said how important my work hours are? Well, I think it's really critical to set yourself up for success in a lot of ways, in terms of mindset, in terms of your planning, in terms of getting your energy and your spirit, tuned in, dialed in, your purpose for the day, your purpose for a project. This is not small stuff. I could easily come up to my office, open my laptop, start responding to emails, and get on to working on tasks. I could easily do that, and I have done that. But man, it is coming from such a position of power. When I come up to my office space, I meditate. Okay, we're talking 20, 25 minutes of meditation here. I visualize. Sometimes it's on the end of my meditation. Sometimes it's an actual separate practice. Visualizing for 3 minutes, for 7 minutes. I do my I am list in the mirror, which I've talked about several times. I'm reading my I am list. I'm going into my journal, and I am writing my goals. I am writing some new thoughts for a project. Okay, there's other things that I've included in this time, but that's when I come up to my actual workspace. That's what I'm doing. I have an article that I uploaded to thetruthaboutliving.com. And I want to go back to it. There were some things that I had added in at one point, and you'll find as you craft your perfect morning routine that there are some things that you do for a period, and then there's a shift, right? For whatever reason, life changes or preference even, and then you change some of your morning activities. So there was a time there where I was doing these breathing exercises as well. So I have that on the blog there, and it's something that I learned at a seminar, and it has to do with this idea of, if you think about what your body most needs, right? It needs water, food, right? Rest, but it also needs oxygen. It's one of the things that we take for granted, and it's one of the things that can actually rejuvenate us the quickest. Okay, because when we breathe in deeply, how quickly is that oxygen getting into your bloodstream, getting to your brain, getting to your organs, right? And so it can be incredibly rejuvenating to do some deep breathing exercises. That is something that I'll be picking back up in my practice, as well as more intensive exercise. So one thing that I've seen some people do is have this rebounder, which is basically one of those mini trampolines, right? A rebounder. And the idea is, well, obviously it's exercise, so that's good, getting your blood pumping and everything, but it also is supposed to facilitate the healing of your body by kind of activating your lymph nodes, right, your lymphatic system. And so the downward motion, pulling motion of the jumping is supposed to be really good for your immune system. So there's so many wonderful little things you can add into your morning routine. One thing that I do, not every day, but some days with my son, is we either make a smoothie together or we juice together. And that's actually part of my morning routine too, because I want to involve my family in part of it, right? What had to shift for me was this idea that, getting up when it's dark outside and the quietness of the house and the the solitude, right, of getting up at 5 in the morning for your miracle morning was a beautiful thing. But what I found is that it was disturbing the rest of my family, and maybe just because my son was young or is young. But for me, it's not happening right now at this stage in my life. Yet I knew the morning routine was really important for me. So what I did was just shift it a little bit, right? So I have these practices that I do with my son. Depending on circumstance and weather, I will do an outdoor walk. However, again, this is related to my stage of life right now, where my nights are often very, very much disrupted. My sleep is very disrupted right now between pregnancy and my son. So if some mornings I sleep in an extra hour or so, and that can be really beneficial for me. So you have to choose, right, where your highest benefit is. But what I'm trying to communicate in terms of your morning routine is that no matter where you are with that stage of life or what your needs are, that you can develop something that is truly going to serve you. And for me, that primarily occurs later in the morning when I come up to my office. So it is the first hour of my workday. I'm not doing it at 5. I'm not doing it at 6, but I am doing it. And so this may let you off the hook a little bit if you have been, if you've practiced the miracle morning and kind of fallen off the wagon and try to get back on. Set the intention, set your plan. These are the important things. The hour of the morning may or may not be significant in your life right now, but get it in there, because it's all about running your day, right? If you truly subscribe to this idea that you can create and sculpt a life that you really dream and have what you really want to have and do what you really want to do and be who you really want to be in this world, then, I keep on with this reminder to you guys that you have to take active steps. You have to make conscious decisions. You have to be purposeful with your time. You have to be purposeful with your actions, with your activities. Don't roll out of bed and, check your email and just kind of, stumble through your day, just fulfilling different obligations. Okay? Get on top of it. Get in charge of it. It's an incredibly empowering feeling, and also it's going to make an impact in your life. If you're looking at your goals daily, you're writing that down daily as part of your routine, do you think that's going to have, a significant impact in your life? Studies say yes. Every time there's been a study that I've read about goal setting, they always come back and say the people who set goals, people who looked at their goals regularly, who wrote their goals down, just achieved so much at much higher levels than those who didn't, or who didn't even have the goals, right? So that's a whole other subject as far as talking about goal setting, but making that a part of your morning routine can be really, really significant and helpful to you. I want you to have the best life possible. I want you to have a successful morning routine. And I don't work the first hour of my workday because I believe in the importance of this. And setting myself up, to me, is as important as the actual work that I do afterwards. And I believe I put better energy into my work because I've taken that time. You know your schedule. You know your life. You know what's going to work for you, right? And I will say, I was one of those people who said that I hated mornings for a long, long time. Most of my life, I said I hated mornings. And the idea of getting up at 5 was ludicrous to me, because I would sleep until I absolutely had to get up. And then I would rush around to get to my job, right? That was me in the past. Will I get back to a miracle morning, getting up before the rest of the family and having that solitude time? Absolutely, it's in my future. But right now, this is what's working for me. in terms of my family and what's going on in our life. So find that balance, okay? Find what works for you. If you're saying to yourself, I can't get up any earlier, or I can't put an hour into my workday that's just filled with, meditations and affirmations, and I just can't make that work. I want you to really just think about that statement that you can't make it work, because chances are pretty high that there's some room in there for change. And it could start with 10 minutes. Okay, it could start with 10 minutes. Don't open your computer for 10 minutes and go through some of these powerful activities, okay? Maybe you could do 20 minutes. For me, it's about an hour, but I completely get, if you're at a different life circumstance right now, or, there's so many different reasons why, right? There could be excessive travel. There could be health things going on. There could be a newborn in the house, which we're going to have soon. So, there's lots of reasons why, maybe you're working 2 jobs, and there's just all kinds of reasons why our lives are so full and busy. But I'm telling you, please, make some effort to prioritize a morning routine for yourself, whether it's at 9 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Get it in there. You're going to see a significant difference in how you feel and your actions for the day. And so yeah, that's my 2 cents on morning routines. And I want you to find me, please. I'm going to put this link in the description as well. I've got my morning routine listed up for you to view in case it's of interest and helpful to you. It's at thetruthaboutliving.com/ I'm looking for it. Okay. So then just edit that part out, okay? It is you can find my morning routine listed up on the website for you to view. It is at thetruthaboutliving.com /morning-routine/. That link is in the description of this podcast as well. But one more time, it is thetruthaboutliving.com /morning-routine/. So I'll see you over there on the website. Love your comments. I do. I read everything that you write to me. And I'm really grateful for your presence here on the podcast today. And so I will say goodbye for now.